All right, now that was the last official one. Todd, take it away.
Kind of hard to follow food. I don't know. You get a bunch of all of us together, and then you share food, and yeah,
It's good times.
yeah, you should go. Okay, well, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going over the Greater Phoenix metropolitan market statistics for the week ending February 24th. Let's get right into those numbers. This past week, 91 days on market for closed inventory. Our month supply was at 5.21. Absorption rate at 19.18. Average list price this past week, $782,867. Average sale price at $627,185. List price to sale price retention was at 97.5 for this past week. Looking at active inventory, yes, up 3.7%. We're in the 24,000s now, 24,466 available. Pending is at 4,283, and closed units month to date at 3,598. New listings this past week. This is part of the reason, we've always said get above 2,400, certainly stay over 2,000, and good things will happen. And so 2,339 is up 0.4 for new listings taken. Days on market for active inventory at 103.7, and for closed at 90.6. Down here on the lower left-hand side, notice the only thing really in red today, although they don't have negative numbers, when anything goes up and it has to do with days on market, that's not necessarily a good thing. So that's a little bit of a slowing there, but every unit category has increased in number of units. So everyone is benefiting from that new inventory. Taking a look at under 600,000, representing 65.75% of the entire MLS inventory. 600 to 1 million, representing 20.41%, and $1 million and up at 13.84%. Obviously, the red meaning there was a little bit of a contraction in those categories. So here's the spreadsheet where everybody gets to be the expert. Very center column in goldenrod, we have the same period 2 years ago. To the left of that in salmon, I would call it, is 2024, same week, and then, of course, week over week on the left. And so new listings, 2339, that was a little better than 2339, just the week before. That's up 0.4%. Way over on the left-hand side, you can see ROT. That stands for rule of thumb. So if you look down those numbers, basically each category says this is approximately where we should be. So if we can get to these numbers, then we have a really super well-sustained real estate market. Of course, that is talking about supply and demand per se. It isn't necessarily talking about all of the other things that affect home ownership, like inflation. But 2339 is good. Look to the right for me and look at 2024 and 2023. We were in the 1,800, adding 1,800 new listings. So this is why the inventory is strong. We're kicking off January and February super strong as far as inventory is concerned. And what does that usually mean? Well, we take a look at that. Active inventory at 24,466. 848 of those are in the coming soon category. 18,381 single-family non-distressed. We have 2,998 new home properties that are out there, whether it's move-in ready, whether it's a spec in production home, or whether they're just trying to let us know that there's a new community out there. Again, please go to Ultimate New Home Search, which is a tab under your products tab in Armless, to be able to search new homes just like you search it for resale. Taking a look at the distressed inventory, which is still only representing 0.6%, actually dropped, but yet the numbers are higher, because if you look to the right and you see a couple of years ago, we were at 20, 40 units in the short sales. Now we're at 121. So it has increased, and what this means is these are the people that are already listed. This isn't the people that are in trouble. These are the people that have already listed their home. So what it means to us is, one, they're probably going through relationship difficulties. That's why I highly recommend taking that divorce class. And Cindy teaches an excellent program. Number two, that you need to know how to do a short sale. You need to know how to present a short sale situation or discover a short sale. This is a thing where consumers are embarrassed when they're going through this type of thing, and they're really sticking their head in the sand, and that doesn't work well. So you have to help them be, confident, comfortable, be a resource for them, ask a lot of questions, but more importantly, be that sounding drawing board, not necessarily to listen to their troubles, but to listen to what it takes and what they need to be able to help them get out of that property. And then, of course, if you can't understand and take a short sale class yourself, I would highly recommend start with Claudia Ewan's class on short sales, and then from that particular point, take one of the short sale negotiating platforms that are out there, and or find someone who does short sales for you that can oversee that process. For pending, sitting at 42.83, that's not a mistake. We're in the 4,000s. We were at 39.59 the week before. Slide your eyes to the right. You'll see last year and the year before that, we were right about 42, 42.50. So this is strong because it means the buyers are back in the market like they were this time last year, or more importantly than last year, this time the year before last, because the year before is actually a little better market than currently. Than it was in 2024, 23. So back to closed units month to date, 35.98. We're at 4,000 last year, 39.89, right in that range. Again, 4,000. We're just a little bit off. We'll see where the month, but if you slide your eyes way over into the blue columns, you'll see there's a lot of green over there, and that means that we finished the month better than we did the year before. So far, December, January, and remember, everything's lagging a month. So when you're talking about closings, you're talking about a property that's already been through escrow, and that 30 days after the contract date. So in other words, when you're looking at January, you're really looking at December sales. You're looking at December closings. You're really looking at November. So I think you get that. But again, we're starting off the year exceptionally strong in green numbers. So if we can stay ahead of last year, this is going to be excellent, because it also means that sellers are accomplishing and buyers are able to buy. And right now, that's been something we've been concerned with. Can buyers buy? So down here under closed distressed properties, I just wanted to share something with you. When I was talking earlier, way up at the top, of how they've grown from 40, 20 to 121, these are listings. What's actually closing out there? So this is a lot more of a calm number. We were at 12 and 12 last year and the year before. Well, we're at 12 right now. So if we're actually looking at, yes, there's more in the marketplace. Yes, I anticipate to see more short sales close and exceed last year's numbers. But as long as they're maintaining last year's numbers, then that is something we have to take in consideration. What is happening to those other 110 listings that are out there that are short sales? And it could just be that we don't know how to properly sell a short sale. So let's look at month supply. 5.21 right now. It's still up there, and these are based on current sales versus current inventory. This is a weekly number. This week it says. Last week it says. You look to the right, you look at last month's numbers over there in the blue. But again, this is a little slower market, ironically, starting off than last year at 3.57. Remember, these are week-over-week analysis, so next week it could be in the 20s. So we'll see. Number here, look at median sale at the bottom, median sale price, 480, 459 last week. That jumps again based on closed inventory. 430 is really where we were a year ago. This is a really high number. Not really sure why it's here. Is it an anomaly, or did just a lot more upper end properties sell this past week than prior? So we'll watch that also, and I'll report back to you on that. Market is about 91 days on market. 70 is where we really want to be. So as long as we're fluctuating pretty close, that's not bad. But here's something else to know as a buyer's agent, and even maybe a seller's agent, is we are still hovering right about that 2.2, 2.5% negotiation off of the list price at the time the buyer's offer is accepted. So this is called sale price to list price retention, and it's 97.8, which means 97.8 of the 100% list price is retained. That means that the seller on average, remember this is an average number, that means that the seller on average is giving about 2.2%. And this number goes, I've tracked this number all the way back into the late 90s. So this number is still roughly, although the prices have changed, it's still about 97.8. So there's always been about a 2% negotiation. This has not changed even since August 17th. But 97.5 right now is where we're at. So sellers are giving up about 2.5%. So if you're writing an offer and you need concessions, there's a lot of different ways you can write concessions. One of those is to don't discount the price, but know that the sellers are typically giving up 2.5% in this particular case. is. So depending upon the maximum allowable guidelines in your loan type for that particular buyer with whatever credit they have, talk to your buyer's lender and find out what the maximum amount of concessions that you can get is, and we'll go from there. So those are the numbers this week. Thanks for joining us, and next we'll bring in Matt.